What does God think of me? That's what I want to talk about today. My name is Matt. I'm the kids and youth worker for All Saints Church. And we've been looking a little bit at our self-worth and self-image in this week's daily devotionals. It's natural to have some insecurities. It's natural. And one way that we can learn to deal with these is to find out what God really thinks of us. Surely, if God thinks that we're okay, then we can feel better about ourselves. The Bible is full of evidence of God's love for mankind and God's love for our individuality. This love is for each one of us, individual, as well as for humanity as a whole. God doesn't just think that we are okay, he thinks that we are amazing. He thinks that you are amazing. In Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 17, we read, "The Lord your God is with you. He is mighty to save. He will take great delight in you. He will quiet you with his love. He will rejoice over you with his singing." Zephaniah says that God will delight in us. We make God happy. Sometimes you might feel that if people knew what we were really like, that they wouldn't like us so much. Well, that may be true with some people, but it's not true with God. God knows us inside and out, and he still delights in you. In Matthew chapter 10, verse 30, we read that God knows how many hairs are on your head. He knows every one. Do you know how many hairs are on your head? I have quite a lot of hair for a guy, and I have no idea. Do you think it would be possible for me to even count them? This verse is telling us that God knows us even better than we know ourselves. Sometimes we may feel that our friends have forgotten about us. We might feel left out of things and neglected. This feeling might be happening now more than most as we're stuck in lockdown. But we may even feel that God has sometimes forgotten about us. This isn't true. The Bible tells us that God is so keen to remember us that he has created a constant reminder for himself. If we read in Isaiah chapter 49, verse 6, it says that your name is written on the palm of God's hand. Have you ever written something on your hand to help you remember it? This is what God says he is doing here. These 3 verses each tell us something important about how God feels about us. Using what you have learned, using this information, I want to challenge you to think or even write a letter to yourself from God. What do you think God would want to say for you having read these verses? Maybe you want to write this down, you want to get creative. Maybe you just want to take some time and reflect. Take some quiet time and just reflect on these 3 verses that just tell you how much God loves you, how important you are to God. And I hope that you can find security in this, that you can understand that your self-image, that your self-worth shouldn't be based in what other people see of you. It should be based in what God sees of you, and he thinks you are amazing.